Well, for this decision in depth, let's take a look at a point in this Clashes game where we're looking to have the deck do a little bit more. And as usual, I guess we'll take a look at our kingdom to start out, kind of do a top-down analysis. The big thing in Clashes Kingdoms is the fact that clashes are right here, and that's going to be a big deal. You know, you want to make sure that you're getting at least 2 of the warlords, preferably 4. Maybe that's going to be realistic, maybe not in this case, probably not. And, you know, you have to get battle plan early to do that. Otherwise, you know, this kingdom really does have enough to work with. There's a draw card, there's plenty of villages, so you should be able to stay pretty consistent even against this warlord attack. You know, you can be carrying 2 minstrels, 2 bandit camps, 2 imperial envoys towards the end of the game. You'll probably be pretty happy with that because there's a raise here for trashing, so you can thin down to make things work out. Payload options, you know, you do have peril, so you can get some loots. Bandit Camp gives you, you know, these 2 spoils, and then there's Rice, which is a pretty big deal here because what we have 4 types in the clashes pile. Treasure is 5, and then potentially Knight will be a 6th. Loot might be a 7th, and so you know, Rice can reduce a fair amount of money towards the end here. But the situation we're in is we just drew deck for the first time, and as is usually the case when you gain control for the first time, what you're looking to do is you're looking to press your deck forward a little bit with a payload addition. And here there's actually, you know, we talked about it. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this. One of them, you know, we have an action hand. We could be periling for a loot. It's probably not the greatest idea. We don't really want to be ditching our battle plan. Battle plan is draw, ultimately. You know, we do have these attacks in deck that it'll draw off of. We didn't use it this turn, but we'll want to use it in future turns. Certainly, Imperial Envoy may not be the most reliable form of draw since it does require village, and battle plan can be non-terminal draw. So that's probably not a great idea. So it's really going to come down to kind of 2 options. One is Rice, and the other is going to be a Bandit Camp plus maybe a Raise or a Cellar for a little bit of extra consistency. If we take a look at these, you know, this turn we ended up hitting 7. And so what'll happen, you know, potentially next turn, is if we take the Bandit Camp, that's going to be +1 spoils. In an ideal world, we're going to be raising 1 copper or even raising 2, and so that's going to have us hitting, you know, 8 or 9 next turn with 2 buys. Potentially, if we only do 1, our next turn could maybe look like a Rice plus a Peril. In that case, we'd have like Bandit Camp, Rice, you know, whatever loot. In which case, you know, we're doing okay. We don't really love this option because, you know, as we start to add more of these things, we are going to require more draw, and this does not represent more draw. The other option is Rice, which is going to at this point produce, you know, we have Warlord out, so there's 4 types right there. Plus Treasure makes 5, and so if everything goes according to plan, that means next turn we'd be raising a copper and we'd be making 11. So, you know, if we had 11, then at that point, yeah, we could be adding our Bandit Camp. We could even be adding another Imperial Envoy for a bit of draw. Now, the problem with this is that, you know, Bandit Camp, as well as being payload, is also a little bit of reliability increase, right? It's a village. And so if we look at our deck, potentially if we're facing an archer attack, you know, we are fairly dependent on finding a Wandering Minstrel and an Imperial Envoy early in our turn. The Bandit Camp would help out because then it could be, you know, either these 2 Wandering Minstrels or the Bandit Camp that can pair with the Envoy and get our turn going. And so there is this thing to balance out. That said, you kind of have to think, how important is it to have a big turn here? Like if I take the Rice and I have a full turn, I can take Bandit Camp, I can take Imperial Envoy. If I take the Rice and I have a minor turn, like a kind of a dead turn, probably I'm still at least hitting 5, potentially more. We don't actually care that much about having the Warlord out because, you know, our opponent's been accounting for Warlord. It's not like not having the Warlord out is going to make their deck suddenly do something amazing. And so that's not really a consideration. But if we have a minor turn, we hit like 5 or 7, you know, what are we doing? We're probably buying something like Bandit Camp Raise, and we're in exactly the same situation if we had Bandit Camp Raise and had a full turn. So in this case, the move is going to be to take rice and, you know, hope for the best on our next turn.